Yo, what's up everybody out there in YouTube land? Triple B's is back in a haunted basement studio. And in this video, I'm doing a hardcore spoiler movie review on Scream 5. So before I get into that, cheers y'all. Alright man, that opening scene was fucking amazing. It was just like the original one with Drew Barrymore. But in this one, we got Jenna Ortega, and she absolutely kills it. First off, she's home alone and she's on her cell phone, and then the landline rings. And first she's just like, what the hell's this landline? I'm not going to answer it. She ends up answering it after she thinks it's somebody else because she's texting with one of her friends. And then we slowly get Ghostface starting to talk to her. And like at the beginning, it's pretty normal, but then it starts to get really menacing, and the things that he's saying to her. He's asking her about if she's seen Stab 1, and then what happened in that opening scene, how Drew Barrymore's character gets killed. And then like when she realized what's going on, the emotions and her facial expressions are just awesome. She's such a good actress. It really had me pumped in my seat. So she's like realizing, hey man, this is actual real threat. And she grabs the knife, and then she goes out the front door. But right when she opens the front door, Ghostface is right there. She slams the door on his arm, and she's able to get the door locked. And with her smartphone app, she's able to lock her door, and it keeps on unlocking. It says door unlocked because Ghostface has cloned her phone, and they go back and forth, unlock, lock, unlock, lock. And she's just like, what the fuck am I going to do? And then she gets a text message, and it says, do you think that you were successful in keeping me out of the house, pretty much? And then right then and there, it's like, oh fuck. And there's like a hallway that's all dark, and Ghostface comes out from behind there and attacks her and pushes her to the ground. He cuts her freaking knee, and then she looks up at him, and he's looking down at her, and he has the knife, and he goes and swings the knife, and she puts her hands up and blocks the knife, and the knife goes right through her hand. Such awesome brutality in the beginning part of this movie. And then looks like he's going to start stabbing her. The family pulls up, and when he goes to stab her, cut to Scream logo, and that's the beginning of the movie. I'm like, what the hell? Did they kill her? You know? But no, they didn't kill her because they needed her to be attacked so that her sister would, she's out in California, that she would come back to Woodsboro. And that's how the movie starts. And then you're going to get introduced to this Scream character. You're going to get introduced to Sam, and Sam Carpenter, and she is going to be like our main final girl in this. Come to find out, Sam is the daughter of Billy Loomis. And so this is a requel, y'all, and requels have different rules than a sequel or a prequel. So you kind of have to get older characters from the original, and you got to mesh them with some new characters in the requel, and that's what they did. And they did a damn fine job at it, I might have to say that. So Jenna Ortega's character's name is Tara Carpenter. So Tara's in the hospital, so she didn't die. They get Sam back there, and she goes into the hospital, and now Jenna Ortega, Tara, she doesn't even look like how she looked in the first one. She looks really sick. She looks like she almost died. So they did a really good job on the makeup effects with her. And for the rest of the movie, she's pretty much in a hospital gown, and she's not really in it that much. The focus is going to be on Sam, and she is going to be trying to find out who tried to kill her little sister. And she's having trouble because she knows that Billy Loomis is her father. And she found out about this when she was 13 years old. And she found some old diaries in the attic. And then she goes and confronts her mother about this. when she was 13, and she's showing her all this proof, not realizing that her father is right behind her and he's hearing everything. And so the father didn't know. And so she lets the cat out of the bag to her father, and like the father just ends up leaving them. And then that's when she goes a little bit crazy, and she says she starts doing every drug that she possibly can find, and that she kind of went a little wild child. And then that's when she moved off to California. So now she comes back. She decides it's time to tell Tara, and when she tells Tara what's going on about Billy Loomis being her father, Tara, she fucking flips out and tells her to get the fuck out of here. Like, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. It's really a kind of emotional scene, but that's a little bit of our story of our final girl. You got to throw a little bit of depth in it. You got to show character development, and the movie actually is going to tell us a story and not just be a good slasher film, which it is a fucking great slasher film. Okay, so David Arquette is going to return and reprise his role as Dewey Riley, the former sheriff of Woodsboro, not Haddonfield. So, and he is a retired, because they asked him to retire, and he's living in a trailer, and he's divorced from Gail Weathers. So Sam and her boyfriend Richie go to his trailer and tell him what's going down with Ghostface, saying, hey man, there's been a couple of killings already. There's been an attack on my sister, and she's in critical condition. She's in the hospital. Can you help us? What do we do? And so he gives them 2 minutes, and he tells them, all the different scenarios that could happen, because this now is a requel. This isn't a sequel or, a reboot or anything like that. So there's going to be different rules. And, he says, you want to start with the group of friends, because the killer is going to be someone in this group of friends. And so they ask him to help, and he's like, nope, I ain't fucking helping. He shuts the door on him, gets back to watching Gail Weathers on TV. So Sam and Riley, they get all of the friends together. So the group of friends, man, we're going to have Amber Freeman, which is Tara's best friend. We're going to have Wes Hicks, which is Judy's son, and she's the new sheriff. She was from part 4, that blonde girl. She returns in this. We're going to have Mindy Meeks Martin and Chad, and they're twins, and they are Randy's they're Randy's like cousins. And then you're gonna have Vince, which is the guy that was killed, which was Stu Macher's nephew. So he's already dead. But then they go around to the group of friends, and they're like telling them what the fuck's going on. And what Mindy just goes off on this like big old rant where she knows way too much, it seems like, and it's almost hitting like, hey, this girl is probably the killer. She's probably Ghostface. So but then everybody gets turned around, like everyone's starting to point fingers. Oh, you could be this. Oh, and Dewey does return and decides to help him, and they're like, fuck, it could be you, Dewey. You could be the fucking killer. And he's like, he's not, but he's like, I could see why you think that I am. So now Wes is heading home, after their little meeting, and his mom's getting ready to go buy some sushi. So she says, lock the door, and he's going to go take a shower. So he's taking a shower, and then while Judy is driving down the road in her cop car, she gets an unknown call, and it's Ghostface, and he starts fucking taunting her about, where's her son at, and you don't have enough time to get home. And so she fucking flips a bitch, turns on her sirens, and just takes off back down the house to her house. She's calling for backup, saying, get someone at my house. She finally fucking pulls up to her house. She jumps out of her sheriff's car. She fucking goes running up the driveway, and then she goes running up the stairs into the house. And right before she gets into the front door, Ghostface fucking steps right in front of her and fucking stabs her, dude, and kills her. And that was like pretty damn good. It was really deceiving, because he was saying, you better get to West, but he was waiting for her to come home. And then After he kills her, he goes inside and he takes care of Wes and kills Wes. So some pretty damn good blood scenes, gruesome scenes. Ghostface was kind of scary, you know. I was like, wow, they're actually doing a pretty damn good job with this movie. All right, later that night, Tara is at the hospital by herself because there was a cop watching her door, but when Judy called for backup, that cop left the hospital, and now all of a sudden Tara is in the hospital by herself and she can't even move, man. She's trying to get into a wheelchair. She can barely move, and it's pretty damn scary because there's no way that she can get away. She ends up kind of locking herself into this other room, and because she knows Ghostface is out there, and the door goes and opens up, and it's Richie. It's Sam's boyfriend, and he's like, Sam sent me down here, you know, because wants me to see what, you know, help you, you know, are you being attacked? And it kind of draws suspicion because Ghostface was just here and they killed like a nurse, and all of a sudden Richie's there. Maybe he's the killer. And so Sam and Dewey end up showing up at the hospital, and they all four reunite, and they're up like on this third floor. They're getting in the elevator, and before that happens, they're trying to get to the elevator, and Ghostface appears and attacks them, and he's attacking Dewey, but then Dewey was able to shoot him a few times in the chest, and he's just laying there up against the wall when they walk over to the elevator. Dewey sends him down, and he's like, I gotta put one in his head. And then he sends him down. He's up there by himself with Ghostface, and he walks up to him to shoot him, and his right when he's getting ready to shoot him, his phone rings, and it's Gale Weathers, and he's distracted for a second, and Ghostface gets up and fucking stabs him, and he kills Dewey, and the way he kills him, I think he has a knife in the back, knife in the stomach. He fucking guts him straight up. So, and there's this blood everywhere. Really gruesome death for Dewey Riley. David Arquette's character goes out with a bang, really. I mean, goes out trying to save Tara and all them, but he ends up dying. And so Gale Weather finds out about his death, and so does Sidney Prescott. And so they come to Woodsboro to see what the fuck is going down. So Gale and Sidney meet up with Tara, Richie, and Sam at the hospital, and them three are like, we're getting the fuck out of Woodsboro. We're going to California. We don't care. And Gale and Sidney are like, hey, you know, we'll help you. Anything that you need, let's, you know, figure this out. And they're like, no, we're gone. We're not even going to stick around, you know, with this Ghostface murderer out there. So we're getting the hell out of here. And they're like, okay. And so the three get in the car, and then Tara's like, you know, she has asthma and she doesn't have her inhaler. She's like, I need my inhaler. And they're like, well, can't you just wait till we get, you know, all the way to California, 8 hours away, or however long the drive is? And they're like, she's like, no, I can't. I do have a spare at her best friend's house. And so they make it to Amber's house, and come to find out it's Stu Macher's old house, and they're having a whole party there, just like the original. We're at the end of the original. They're having a party there, and so they're having a huge ass party, and they're kind of hitting the same knots that the original one did. So when Richie goes in the house, he's like, hey, party's over, everybody's got to leave, and they kick everyone out of the house. And now we're at the final act, and we got some of the group character friends there are there, you know, the twins, and what the fuck is going to happen? What is going to happen? It almost, at this point in the movie, I still don't know who the killer is. And I know there's got to be two of them, at least. There's got to be two of them. Welcome to the third act, bitches. All right, so man, they're back at Stu's house, and you know, Mindy and Chad, the twins, they both get attacked by Ghostface. And then we got Amber. She is Ghostface, and she is Tara's best friend, and this bitch is fucking crazy. Absolutely love her, man. She's acting just like Stu through the whole time. And it's also revealed that Sam's boyfriend, Richie, is Ghostface. So they're the two Ghostface. And I kind of thought that going into the third act, you know what's so funny about what Amber says, like, welcome to the third act, right when they're revealed. It's time fucking for mayhem, craziness. So they're having like the crazy ass kitchen scene. Gale Weathers and Sidney Prescott show up at the house, and they have some guns, and they're walking up to the front door, and Amber comes running out screaming, he stabbed me, he stabbed me. And they're like, they both look at each other and they're like, yeah, definitely a trick. And then Amber's like, oh, screw it, and pulls a gun out and boom, shoots and hits Gale Weathers. And then she runs back inside. Sidney doesn't get hit. And then Gale's just like, go on inside, go finish it. You know, it's almost two sides of the story. Like, really don't need those two girls here, but this is what we got. No, she goes inside. She ends up getting attacked by Ghostface, and then they get Gale Weathers, and they bring her in the kitchen. They're kind of doing the same thing that Billy and Stu were doing in the first one, but you know, a little bit drawn out, longer ending scene. Third act wasn't too bad at all. I mean, it was pretty good. I love how Amber was just fucking crazy. It's like with the knife. She even brings up Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, that there's no killer to come back, so they had to get the original surviving character to come back, and that was Sidney, and they had to get her to Woodsboro. So a really good story to try to bring these original characters back, to kill them and then to make their own movie. Because the problem with them, the two characters, they like the Stab movies, but they fucking hate Stab 8 because they said it was fucking stupid. And they really haven't made a good ending or a good movie since Stab 1, so they wanted to have a good ending. Richie says, yo, we need to go get Tara. Go get Tara out of the closet. And Amber's like, on it. And then she goes, she's like, hey, she's not here. Just kind of like how the first one was. And so he's like, what do you mean she's not there? Well, she's not. And so this is where the killers are going to get fucked up, man. They're going to, you know, shit's not going to go right. So Amber is going to end up finding Tara. But Tara beats her with with her crutch, you know. And she's trying to fucking fight her off, but Amber throws her over. But then she comes back into the kitchen. They're kind of all over the place. It's really sporadic. It's almost like it was like, you know, real life shit where fucking shit happens way too fast, and that's kind of how they played it out. But it was pretty good. So Richie's looking for Sam, looking for his girlfriend. He finds her upstairs. You know, they end up fucking crashing down the stairs. So now Amber has to deal with Sidney and Gale Weathers, and so they're in the kitchen kind of fighting. Gale and Sidney will get the upper hand on Amber, and she'd be like, no, it was like, you know, peer pressure, you know, he made me do it and stuff. And then she would, like, you know, fight him off. But then they overpower her. They get the gun. They shoot her a couple times. She falls onto the stove, which was lit, and she starts burning up on fire. And then it cuts to Richie. He's upstairs looking for Samantha. He gets Sam, and they go crashing down the stairs, and the gun kind of goes off a little bit out of Richie's hand, and he's trying to crawl for it. Samantha looks up at the fucking mirror, the little reflection, and she sees her dad, Billy Loomis, and he's like, look over there. And so she kind of goes over there, and you see it's the knife, and it's like really the original knife that they use, like that buck knife. She ends up like grabbing it, and then Richie pulls over and gets on top, and he's like, what about my ending? And then like she's like, I got a new one. And he's like, what's that? He's like, don't fuck with a serial killer's daughter. And then she fucking stabs him in the side. and then fucking, he's fucking over it, and she just fucking goes to town. Dude, she fucking stabs him like 30 times, dude. It's fucking insane. And like, he's almost dead, and he's like, oh, what about my ending? She's like, your ending's about to start right now. And then she fucking slits his throat. Well, yeah, and then she stabs him right through the fucking face, like, and it goes out. Fucking awesome fucking scene, blood everywhere. The kills in this fucking movie were pretty fucking brutal, and it looked pretty awesome, man, to be honest with you. So, man, okay, and then frickin' they still need to get Tara. Tara fucking shows up because Amber's not dead. She comes running out all burnt up. One last kill, and Tara has the gun, boom, shoots her in the head, and she says, I still prefer the Babadook. Hell yeah, that was the fucking best line in the movie. Fucking, because it's about horror movies, and this is, you know, it was so good. So, dig it. So, alright. End credits, pretty much, you know, they kind of say their final goodbyes. I mean, Samantha's just covered in blood. You know, she ends up shooting fucking Richie a bunch of times after she stabbed him to make sure he's dead. Blood's everywhere. Really cool fucking scene where she's just covered in blood. The Babadook fucking from Tara. It's awesome. So, cut, credits, in, done, over with. Boom.
I still prefer the Babadook.
Boom. Alright. Yo, my final thoughts on Scream 5. Alright, man. That was a fun fucking movie. A lot funner. I was like my second time watching it. I watched it 3 times now to do the video. The first time I watched it, you know, I wasn't paying attention. I have these little girls that run around. And so I kind of missed it. And I fucking feel really bad that I missed it when it first came out. It's still 2022 and the movie came out in 2022. But after watching it last night and then again today, fucking love it movie. I love this movie. It's high up on my rankings. I'm gonna do all the Scream movies, but this one really, I do enjoy the new characters so much. I didn't think I was gonna like the characters like the new ones, but fuck, man, they were awesome. I honestly would have preferred them just being in it, and we didn't need the old characters returning. And then there was the Judy, the cop from the 4th one, and so. But let's say the main characters, all right, man. We got Gail Weathers, we got Sidney Prescott, and then we got Dewey. So they come back, Dewey dies, and the other 2 live. And so we know that we got Scream 6 coming out in March of 2023. So like within a year apart, and I really hope that it's not a cash grab. That, you know, I don't think it is, because they kind of made their requel, you know, almost their reboot, but they made it a requel of Scream, and they just called it Scream. Came out in 2022, the video that you just watched. And so now they can maybe make their own movie. And then we saw the trailer where it's going to be in New York City. And so we still have the surviving characters. So the twins ended up surviving. They got attacked by Ghostface, but they survived. And then we have the 2 sisters. Okay, we got Tara and Sam Carpenter. And then, of course, we still got Gail Weathers and then Sidney Prescott. So those are the remaining characters that are still alive in the franchise. Let's see where they go. But Scream 5, to me, my ranking, you know, I really... Alright, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do 8.0, okay? And that is... very glad I watched it. It's highly recommended to watch this if you love horror movies, if you love slasher movies, and if you love the Scream franchise. I really enjoyed this movie so much more watching it these last few days, and just them talking about, you know, what a requel is. And I'm going to end with a little quote about the requel. a continuation of the narrative that derives heavily from the plot of its original. Yo, so, all right, man. Scream 5, tell me what you think in the comments section below. Hit the subscription button on the way out and give me a likes. And Triple B's is out. You motherfuckers keep it whore.
You don't understand. Your mother loves that movie. She talks about it all